I've played a lot of Metroidvanias, but the one I'm talking about today felt really different since the moment I saw it. More than adventure, it was like walking into a cosmic grave. I'm talking about Silent Planet Elegy of a Dying World, a game which gives Castlevania vibes, but in space. Imagine that for a moment. It's the same Castlevania energy with a fear of cosmic horror in a dying world. I wouldn't even mind saying it's like Castlevania on steroids. So, in today's video, we will explore more about Silent Planet Elegy of a Dying World. So, what even is cosmic horror Castlevania on steroids? Believe me when I say that this game is Castlevania on steroids. It's not for nothing. Silent Planet Elegy of a Dying World takes place in the year 2997. You play as a pranic who is sent to a planet called Thulkandra as a space explorer. But this doesn't look like a normal planet. The thing is, the planet is dying. Continuous structural collapses have caused life to fade. It seems like something very strange happened here long before you arrived. Your mission as a pranic is to travel into a massive underground complex which is built by ancient civilization. That civilization has already perished, but it has left behind a mystery hidden deep inside that giant underground maze. That's an object called the Angel's Egg. Honestly, nobody really knows what it is, but we know it's incredibly important and probably even dangerous. Here comes the cosmic horror in the game. Thulkandra is not just collapsing, but its entire ecosystem is being destroyed. The once grand structures have now become a biomechanical maze filled with remains of dead life and cold machines which have twisted together into one unnatural biological creature. This strange biological life will make you feel tiny and powerless, just as Castlevania did with its cosmic horror. The underground complex feels more like a tomb, and every corridor feels like a burial chamber. When you walk through the hallways, it feels like you're walking through the remains of a civilization which was crushed by a terrible force. The exact gothic feeling of Castlevania is unmistakable, but it's even better because this time the setting is in space with some unnerving alien horror. Something which will make you both curious and uncomfortable at the same time. How it actually plays like space Castlevania. Before talking about gameplay mechanics, consider the world design in Silent Planet Elegy of a Dying World. Thulkandra is falling apart and all its structures are collapsing. The massive underground complex you explore was once a place of great hope. It was a place designed to protect knowledge of life. But with time, it has been transformed into a tomb of damaged technology and corrupted biology. The creatures look like failed experiments of nature and technology mixing together, as if you're walking through a haunted museum built by aliens. Now, gameplay-wise, Silent Planet is a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania. You explore a giant interconnected map, which has a few areas blocked at first, but as you gain new abilities, you can return to those areas and unlock new paths. This backtracking is not just about progress in the game, but it is also about understanding the world inside of it. Exploration is the heart of the game, returning to earlier zones after reveals, hidden routes, and environments, which tells you about the planet's collapse. You're constantly searching for secrets and clues which can tell the story of what happened on this planet. As a pranic gets new abilities, the old locations feel fresh again, as if solving a puzzle across the entire map. A pranic also gains powers that help with movement and combat is where the Castlevania feeling becomes more and more obvious. It's not about frantic button-mashing fights. Instead, the fights are slower and more strategic. You'll have to calculate everything from distance to timing and even observe enemy patterns. A pranic can use both melee weapons and ranged psychokinetic abilities. This means that players get a toolkit which feels versatile. Each enemy feels dangerous and demands attention. Creatures behave unpredictably, and the fights become real tense. The game doesn't give you superhero vibes who can blast through enemies. Instead, you will be an explorer who is just trying to survive in a hostile world. The boss fights are especially intense and ritualistic. It's like facing giant living relics of the planet's history and how it was destroyed. You'll find each boss fight telling you a story while challenging your skills. The pacing of the game is like classic gothic action games, where combat carries a lot of narrative weight rather than just existing purely as a skill check. Another major gameplay element is the exploration of the artifacts and environmental clues, which can piece together Thulkandra's history. And by exploring, I mean long stretches of exploration which mostly happen in silence. Just the eerie sounds and strange environments will give you the lonely vibe. And that loneliness isn't by accident, it's all part of the experience. The gameplay continuously kept me feeling like I'm performing an autopsy of a planet rather than just exploring some dungeon. Huge plus points of an exploration-based game. Why this deserves the on steroids tag. You guys know what to praise on steroids means, right? When something is much more intense and stronger than its usual self, and Silent Planet earns that label in several ways. The developers have openly drawn inspiration from legendary games like Super Metroid and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I mean, those games have defined the Metroidvania formula of exploration and ability-based progression, and not to forget their unforgettable gothic worlds. Silent Planet not just inherits that gothic vibe, but in fact pushes everything further into an even more darker territory. Perhaps the biggest upgrade is its focus on cosmic horror. Here, you're not dealing with the classic gothic monsters like vampires. You're dealing with unknown alien biological horror and cosmic processes, which will challenge your understanding of life and reality. The fear comes from the mystery of the unknown and not just the danger itself. Then there's the biopunk horror. Yes, it's a word. Biopunk is when biology and technology merge in disturbing ways. The game environment and the enemies' pranic encounters throughout the game constantly blur that line. Machines look alive and the creatures look mechanical. It seems like even the buildings have not been built but just grown. This is the kind of visual setting which feels deeply alien, even more than Castlevania. But that's not all. Another reason for the on steroids label of this game is the emotional intensity it provides in the lore. We have seen many Metroidvanias balancing exploration with comfort, where you have friendly NPCs and safe hubs or at least a clear narrative direction. But Silent Planet knowingly strips much of that comfort away. So much so that the game becomes nearly oppressive with its theme of isolation. That emotional weight is what makes the exploration feel more meaningful. The story also explores the themes of grief and rebirth. These ideas are woven directly into the world. The Angel's Egg itself shows transformation and mystery. It is tied to the ideas about cycles of life, death, and cosmic insignificance. A Pranic's mission to get the Angel's Egg feels like humanity's constant desire to understand forbidden knowledge. Even combat also contributes to the on steroids feel in the game. Encounters are intense and unforgiving. They demand patience and precision rather than just aggressive playstyles. And as I've told you, enemies aren't designed to be just cannon fodder. They're dangerous and quite unpredictable. After all, a Pranic is trespassing in a hostile ecosystem. But the biggest reason this game feels on steroids is its emotional setting. You are not a hero saving the world, you're just someone exploring a dying world. Silent Planet isn't trying to be empowering, it is supposed to be unsettling and melancholic in its tone. The player is an archaeologist who is uncovering truths that should have been better left buried. And because the game doesn't explain everything clearly, players have to think and interpret for themselves. This is classic cosmic horror, where mystery is more powerful than answers. If I tell you in simple terms, Silent Planet is Castlevania placed inside a collapsing alien tomb. A tomb where machines and flesh have merged and every discovery feels haunting to the core. Silent Planet Elegy of a Dying World takes the familiar Metroidvania formula and makes it even more haunting with its cosmic and biopunk horror. It feels less like a game and more like a journey through the final memories of a planet. And much like Castlevania Energy, this game also pushes you into strange and troubling territory, which stays with you long after the game ends.